Hey guys, welcome back to the Any Thoughts podcast. It's me, Benny.
It's me, Bradley.
It's me, Amog. Hi.
And Iverson, what's up?
So before we start with the podcast, we have a little bit of housekeeping to go on. We want to let everybody know that we are on SoundCloud, and we also just appreciate all the great amount of support we've had for the first episode. Our minds are blown that we're nearly 200 views in, and we want to really keep up the momentum. And so, with that said, we'd really appreciate it if you liked and subscribed on YouTube, as that way we can promote our numbers even further. We've created an email, and Brad can tell us the email name.
Yes, the email for our podcast is thoughtgang25, and that is spelled THOTGANG 25 at gmail.com. Again, that is THOTGANG 25 at gmail.com. Please email us with any comments, questions, advice, critiques, or any other topics you want us to talk about on the show. If you guys email us, we will be reading your questions or comments on the next show. So please let us know. And we're also in the process of getting the Instagram for our podcast. So we'll let you know about that in our next episode of the Any Thoughts podcast.
Yeah, good job, Brad. And with that said, we want to start with what's slapping and what's chapping. Anybody want to begin with their week?
All right, I'll start first, man.
Okay.
All right, man. So what's been slapping for me? So I'm not. You guys know about Takashi 69, right?
Yeah.
What's
All
up?
right, so I found this guy named Trapler Ross on YouTube. I highly
Okay.
recommend you guys watch him. He does a lot of these like rap beefs a lot. So he went like he's like about five like shows in or episodes in on like the rise and fall of the Tekashi 6ix9ine, and it's really freaking good. Honestly, it's really funny. Highly recommend if you're interested in that type of like learning about rap beefs. He has a lot more. He has a lot more episodes about different rappers, like the whole ongoing is Little Uzi gonna drop the Eternal Take album, the whole beef between Drake and Pusha T. All of it's really good. Highly recommend it. And what's been chapping me for the past week? All these exams I had. I literally had two exams on Friday, and I have another one this Wednesday. I got homework due tomorrow that I'm not done yet, and I got a homework
Oof.
due on Thursday that I haven't started yet. So all of it is just so fun. I can't wait.
Great
Well,
to
Sounds
hear,
good,
man.
good
man.
luck with that, Brad.
Thank you, thank you.
I
All
guess I'll
right.
go next. So, what's been slapping for me is that I'm slowly getting better at some music production. I'm really into music, so I've been learning various different software and sound design. But something that's been chapping me is also related to it, which is just that right now I'm really obsessed with finding the perfect synthesizer sound. And trying to get those knobs to go correctly has been kind of chapping me at me. Trying to make sure that something doesn't sound too gainy or whatever. So I'm more the techno nerd on the podcast, I think. So for me, figuring all that stuff out is fun, but it's been chapping me quite a bit.
I'll go next. So what's been slapping is that I got my salary. So,
Hey, get that money,
Ah,
so
man.
it's like getting that
Get that
change.
money.
Yeah. So that's the great part. But what's been chapping me is, essentially the weather in Kuwait is pretty much shit. It's fucking cold. It's like 2 degrees, 3 degrees Celsius. And well, as some of y'all know, or many of y'all know, I am a civil engineer. So one part of it is dealing with concrete, and concrete's an issue. And it's just been dealing with the Kuwaitis and the Turks and just their entire ego issues and ego struggles. It's pretty much a pain in the ass. But hey, your boy's hanging in, and yeah, just it's difficult, but I got this. I got this covered.
hey,
So
nice.
yeah.
All right. Last but not least, so what's been slapping is work. Actually, I actually work at the local hospital here in Gainesville, and it's pretty cool because in the next month I'll be having two presentations. One is in Orlando at SeaWorld, and the other one, and it's for a convention. the other one's in at UF. So it should be a pretty cool opportunity just to build a resume a little bit. And what's also been chapping, just been a rough couple weeks, been losing some sleep, but most importantly, here with the boys, just ready to have a conversation. Honestly, just normal talk between the boys, and hope you guys enjoy today's episode because we know we will.
All right. And so, with that, we conclude this segment. Our next topic is a serious topic, and it's the whole point of the podcast, really. It's just, we have life experiences that we want to teach people, but we also want to have a fun time doing it. So, our next topic is about rejection, how to deal with rejection, and how to take it one way or to take it badly. And we want to describe both processes in this matter and show people, that it's not the end of the world if somebody tells you no. So, with that, who wants to start?
Um, I can start if you guys like. Um, so essentially, I'll start with the negative first because things have to get bad before they get better. So I was definitely into this girl. I was seriously into this one girl. So I've been into her, I was into her for a while. This is like back in engineering. I was doing my bachelor's in civil engineering back in Mumbai. If most of y'all didn't realize this up till now, well, you're in for a surprise. I'm Indian. Um, so
True.
this is back during my bachelor's in civil engineering, where back then I was a bit of a simp. I did not have a lot of confidence dealing with I was still trying to I was still trying to figure out college, studies, women, and added to that, it's a lot. I think a lot of guys will agree with me on this, that back in engineering, there are very few women. So it's difficult, guys. It's so
It's
and so yeah,
Big
it's a
facts.
really
it's
it's
trying
a
to
really
find
low.
gold in a very dry mine. You
Yeah,
know what
it's
I
like
mean?
it's like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
it's like trying to find gold in a mine, in a crystal mine. It's
Honestly, you
really
can't even
fun.
find copper. You can't even
Yeah,
find
just
copper
Yeah.
there, bro.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
Honestly, yeah.
So
you'll
it's
be lucky
so
enough to find some tin.
Hey,
Yeah, I
yeah,
relate that just being
it's
in mechanical engineering where there's the same 10 girls from when you started your major and that's it.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's difficult. So you guys can relate to this, and it's like holy shit. So I was so this girl is like we've known each other for a while. She's a family friend, and like she's close. We're all like we're pretty close. Or at least I thought we were close. So I, first of all, and this is, I think, during my second semester in engineering. I was pretty excited to be part of, engineering. I'm like, yes, bro. Like, I got into engineering. I want to do the best I can. And like this entire scene is, so the scene setup is that I end up texting this girl, and I ask her, I'm like, hey, listen, do you want to go and get coffee? And she's like, yeah, sure, let's do that. Like, she's like, I'm excited, let's go get some coffee. And she's a beautiful girl, very talented, and I mean, at least back then I didn't know any better, which is unfortunate. Now I do. So I was like, hey, I was definitely into that, and I was definitely into her. And I was like, hey, so let's get some coffee, let's have a good time, let's go for a walk, and let's just in general have a good time, and let's see where things go from there. And she's definitely into that at first. And you know she and then 15 minutes before we are supposed to meet, I text her. I'm like, hey, listen, can you, do you want me do like, are we on? Are we not on? What's going on? Because like, I wasn't sure. I like to check. I'm a thorough person. I like to check before I, jump or leap. And this girl doesn't like, she completely fucking ghosts me. There's no text, no response, no nothing. And like, I don't hear from her ever, like ever. And like, we meet at,
Oof.
yeah, like, she completely fucking ghosted me. And like, here's the thing, I literally went, like, I went fucking batshit after that. Like, I couldn't fucking handle it. Where I was just like, I was just like, I was crying. I mean, again, I was a very sensitive guy back then. I was like, and like, I think the boys will find this very hard to believe, because I'm like, I was a polar, or I was the polar opposite of what I am now. Like, I make people cry. Like, I literally am. I make people fucking, like, I will literally make people shit their fucking pants. But yeah, so it's just like one thing which is essentially what I do. But then back then I was very sensitive. I started crying, and I just couldn't deal with it, and I kind of went into like this thing where I was just angry at everyone, and I couldn't deal with it. And my mom taught me something that day, when I spoke to my mom about this. I'm close to both my parents, and fortunately close to my mom as well. And I told her that, hey, listen, I think I'm like, I like this girl, and she just ghosted me, and she didn't get in touch with me, and this and that. And she all my mom told me was, what, if she cannot accept you for who you are, or if she cannot accept the fact that you're interested in her, and deal with it like a normal person should, like, if she's not interested, then you just might as well move on and move forward into something which is, which will be a better relationship for you. And I took that advice to heart, and certainly it's led, I mean, of course, it did lead to further heartbreaks and further this thing, but I eventually got desensitized to it, and I started to realize that, okay, you know what, guys, shit's not that bad. But yeah, there
Yeah,
were,
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah,
I think yeah, in the end you realize like the worst that can happen is they say no, and the
Hmm.
shittiest thing that could happen is that they ghost you. But in
Yeah,
the end, it's
exactly.
like, in the end, it's like, what do you learn from it? Well, I guess
Mm.
that person wasn't for me to begin with.
Hmm.
And like, just in this topic, anyways, I feel like I can speak from this just in a different point of view, which is that love will find you when you least expect it. I've been with my current girlfriend for 3 years, and she came when I had a lot of stuff going on in my life, But it's just like, I feel part of the problem with rejection is that people like to try to force themselves into a situation that really, maybe it wasn't meant for you to be with, but that persistence, you didn't learn anything from it. Like no does mean no in a lot of instances. But a lot of people will
In every instance.
misread. I mean, like, but I'm saying, like, like, if a girl tells you no, and then that a guy friend of yours who keeps trying to go after that person, and eventually the girl kind of caves in, like, that's not a destined relationship to start. You know what I mean? Like, that relationship was never meant to happen, but the girl got tired of hearing it. And so that's more what I mean by that when I say that. It's like, you learn, like, you shouldn't have to constantly seek validation if the person there is right for you. And
Yeah.
so with I'd say with my story of rejection was like, I think this was probably sophomore year of college. There was this girl I liked, and we talked and hung out all the time. We talked and hung out all the time, and like everybody from a mile away saw it coming. Like they're like, oh, you guys are gonna date. But every single time I asked her for a date, she'd play really like fishy and coy, like like I didn't ask her. And it was like, I didn't even realize it until maybe my second or third attempt at trying to do something. And it was like, I thought about it and I was like, you know what? If it was meant to be, it would work out. And that's kind of how I took it. I just kind of walked away. But then I came to find out that she had a boyfriend. And I was like, why are you spending so much time with me then? Like,
Mm.
it was the weirdest feeling in the world to know that, like, somehow it just like people just aren't that upfront with you, like, but I guess in that situation it's the same conversation. Who knows, some people can be really pushy, and then
Yep.
they meet somebody
Yeah.
else who could be the same way, and they want to let you down softly too. and that's perfectly fine too. But I would say to most people, like if you're upfront about it, if you're honest about it, that goes a long way more than just not saying anything about it. The way I dealt with that situation was after that, I just kind of ignored the girl and left, you know? Like, I was like, my time here is up. I just don't talk to me. And I went to go find other fish in the sea, you know?
It's a
And I
great way.
think that's real. I
Exactly,
think that
exactly.
I think that's really all you can do. Unless you think the girl's your future wife, but trust me, your future wife isn't going to neglect you like that, you know.
Yeah,
Then
yeah.
just walk away from it and just learn that, you know, you can do everything right and it's still going to go your way for whatever
Yeah.
reason, and that's perfectly fine too.
Mhm. Yeah, you
Hmm.
never want to be anybody's like second choice or last resort. You want to be like their number one, and that's something that a lot of people that kind of struggle with with rejection. It's just being able to handle, them saying no or them just not responding to you, and my story kind of flows into my first year here at University of Florida. Um, I meet this girl, and at the time, I wasn't really seeking anything serious with her. I was just trying to like get a little action. You know what I mean? But
I know what you mean, big guy.
That college booty.
I have no idea what you're talking about, sir. But yeah, no, I was just trying to get something, and it seemed pretty cool. Like we were just hanging out. We stayed together. We would like hang out at her place sometimes, but every time I would try like push a little more, she would kind of take a little step back to the point where like I like dude like I was bad, man. Like I would text her and she would not respond, so I'll be like messaging her like too many times in the day. It was bad to the point where I just thought to myself, man, I'm acting like a freaking like like jackass. Like I went to a church to hang out with this girl, man. Like listen, I went. It was like not to demean anybody's faith as far as religious preference. I don't really care what your practice is as long as you're safe and it's not hurting anybody. But I went to a Catholic church, and let me tell you, that was one of the most boring and just dry experience I ever had. Like, if you ever ate
Interesting.
like white meat chicken with just salt on it, that's what it was like. It was like
Wow.
it was stand up, let's sing a hymn, sit down, stand up, sing a hymn,
Hmm.
sit down, stand up. Like listen, this is too much. I'm clearly doing too much. If if this was meant to be, if this was a situation where I really wanted this girl,
Hmm.
and she really wanted me back, she would have you know reciprocated some more feelings towards me back, and she wouldn't have been as timid towards me. So yeah, and again, after I went through that, I just learned, you know what? Everybody is different. Everybody has their own asking price when talking to them. You may have to invest more in others than you do in other people. And that's how life is. Some people, you say the right words, you show them around a couple places, you're in there. For others, you need to do a lot more. And it's really up to you. Do you want to keep on, doing the more and extra stuff? And if you don't see anything with them, if you just feel like, yeah, I'm just running around in circles with this person, then hey man, maybe it's time for you to back out. And
And you got to really ask yourself, was the non-seasoned chicken worth it?
yeah, just like Phil.
Was the chicken with raisins okay?
No man, you ever
I
see
mean,
that?
seriously, like if that was the chicken you were going for, like at this point you're like, dude, might as well go for the Louisiana chicken at this point.
Oh, that
Exactly.
Cajun
At the
chicken.
Creole.
at
You want a
that
Exactly.
point,
Cajun
I'd rather
chicken,
want a
you want
turkey.
that
You know what I
spice in
mean?
your life,
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, and,
you
and,
know.
and when I got rejected, I was just like, I felt so hurt. I felt like, wow, okay. And then I just realized, listen, a good friend of mine told me, he said, listen, Brad, I have a lot of good friends. He told me a lot of like weird shit. So here's one of my friends what they told me. One of my friends told me, listen, Brad, sometimes you gotta slay a couple dragons, don't get to your princess. That's one. And
Man,
Legend says he's still single now.
he's slaying dragons, still looking for his princess. And my other friend told me, listen, Brad, she missed out on an amazing guy, and that's how you gotta look at it. If
hmm,
somebody rejects you, then then guess what? They missed out on an amazing person, somebody who can really be the sunshine in their day. and what you do is you look and you see what you did wrong, improve upon yourself, keep on moving forward. And that's what I do now. Single now. I'm looking where I can improve on, where I need to fix, and I'm trying to look for somebody better. That's what we're all trying to do right now.
That's all you got to do.
Mm-hmm.
That is right. Cool. All right. I guess my time to take the floor. I'll make it really quick. Yeah. So, we've all gone through rejection. So I remember specifically back sophomore year, I was really talking to a girl. I was very interested. And it's usually tough for me to find someone that I'm very interested in. I was very invested in it. And I really felt like throughout the, kind of the relationship, whatever you want to call it, we had, I felt like she had the upper hand in it. And, me, being a sophomore, kind of being sheltered, I guess, a little bit, I kind of wasn't reading up on it. I was just thinking, oh, I'm being a nice guy, I'm just going to keep going with it. But yeah, man, like things are going well. And then just straight up just got cut off, rejected over something very dumb. And I remember I was pondering over it for like weeks. And then a couple months later, I went and I texted the person again. And I remember my roommate from sophomore year, you guys know, I'm not going to say his name. He told me like one of the most important things. He was like, you know what, Iverson? You just got to get over her. You just got to do it. And, like, just like, it's so simple to hear that. But when you actually do it, it's like you're wasting your time, like, essentially on someone that, that's rejecting you. So, like, with that being said, like, when someone rejects you, like, kind of like what Brad and Benny were saying, like, what you got to do is just look to the future. Just say, hey, this person, they don't value me for what I am. So just go after another person. Go, don't be afraid to talk to a person. But the thing is too, and where it gets tricky, is you got to read these cues. So with females, you can go up to a girl and talk to her, ask her, how she's doing, try to make a move. And she won't outright say, oh, get away from me. Like, get away from my face. She won't say that. She'll probably, say some things. And some do. Yeah, some do.
To
me.
You're
creepy. I respect the ones they do, yeah. Like,
yeah, I mean, if you come off as very creepy, then yeah. But they may say
hey,
things
I want to marry you.
I have a boyfriend. They'll probably make, or that. Or
I think I'm in love with you.
You're my soulmate.
You guys have had different experiences.
one of the funniest rejections I ever saw, and that's the thing. Like, I want to just with concluding this topic, I want to put in a lighthearted story about it. One of the worst rejections I ever saw, but it was so fucking funny that it shocked me so bad. One time I was at PDQ and I was starving, so I just sit down, and then like I see this group. And it's like these kids who are clearly in high school, and like this guy who's like looking over the table, right? And he's like, "Oh, these girls, they just walked in. Like, oh man, like typical guy bro kind of stuff. Like, which person in the group has kind of the balls to go talk to one of them? That kind of situation."
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm sitting down. He goes to talk to the girl, and he's like, "Hey, so my friend thinks you're really cute," and she legit just looks at him, and she's like, "I'm sorry, but I'm married." And like it just
what?
it killed him because
and my friend over there thinks you're cute.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I'm married, and then like all his boys roasted the shit out of him for it. But I mean, like,
well, you have to.
Like, yeah, no, but A plus to the guy because like he just walked off, like it phased him a little bit, but he's like, well, at least she's married,
Hey, but he took it well. He took the rejection well.
Yeah, he took it well, and that's really all you can do. Just take it well. Realize that like it wasn't meant to work out, and somebody else will come by that you think it's worth taking a chance, and you shouldn't be scared to take that chance either. But with that said,
I mean, sorry, Benny. Sorry to interrupt you, but like another point which I would like to make is, you can self-medicate. You can turn into a raging alcoholic. You can do whatever you want. But at the end of the day, it's not going to take away the fact that I mean, sure, you're gonna feel terrible at first because, oh, this lady, somebody who you cared about or you invested at that moment. I mean, I think the way you think about it is, you invested in that person. They didn't reciprocate. And that's completely fine. I mean, but the solution shouldn't be self-medication or turning to alcoholism or just like being detrimental in some way, in a way of like punish yourself,
Yeah,
because a lot of
or cussing her out. Like if she
or
says
or
no,
or,
If you
or,
do
or
yeah,
that, you
saying
got
stuff
some
like
help. You
or
need some
saying
help.
stuff like
You
yeah
need some
like or
help.
saying stuff like or saying stuff like, oh, just calling her names, or just being weird around her in general. Like these are not acceptable tactics, guys. It's like we should, these are things which we really should address. Like
Yeah, I mean,
these are
if you
things
do that,
which, yeah.
if you do that, you have some homework, right? I want you to type in
yes.
the YouTube channel Birdman, and if you do that, you're what we call a Eugene. Yeah, you're exactly what we call a Eugene. Like if you do that,
Hmm.
go go by yourself, Google the channel Birdman, and just type in Eugene tries to pick up women, and like that is exactly what you're doing.
Mhm.
And that's homework
Yeah.
for that's homework for all the listeners back home. It's just that like if you do that, this is how you are in the eyes of that girl, or really society.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay, and also shout out to Birdman for actually calling those types of people out, because I mean, seriously, he's this guy's an inspiration. I mean, dude, literally watching this guy, I was like, damn, man, like I've seen so many
Hashtag not
Eugenes.
sponsored.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you really should
Yeah.
watch them because it's comedic gold.
Yeah, I mean, it's insane. Like you will, like, I mean, you will see many moments where you're like, damn, dude, this guy, like, it's cringy as hell. But then at the same time, you're like, okay, you know what? This is something I can avoid because I don't want to make a fool of myself. Number one,
Mhm.
and sure, there are moments where you are going to end up making a fool of yourself around women, and that's fine. That's completely fine. But the most confident guy, he doesn't have to beat up other women. People. He doesn't have to beat up other guys. The most confident guy is the one who can, fall, learn to pick himself up, laugh, and say, hey, you know what? I fell down, but hey, I got up and I got back up stronger.
Yeah, and
So
Definitely.
with that note, let's bridge over to the next topic. Right now, we're trying to figure out the format of the podcast where we have a serious topic and a lighthearted topic. Right now, it's time for our lighthearted topic, and it's about insane bar stories. Just the
oof.
craziest times we've ever had out as a group of friends or by
Oh.
Oh
different friend
yeah.
groups. And so,
Oh boy.
and who wants to talk about their story first?
I'm gonna save my story for last because it, it, it's really wild, and I want to save it for last.
All
Yeah,
hopefully,
Oh
right.
yeah,
hopefully,
you
it lives
you
up
want to
to
end
it.
it on a
yeah.
high note. Brad wants to end it on a
Yeah.
high note, guys.
I
Okay, in
really,
that
I really
case,
want to like. I'm the anchor. I want us to race right now. I'll run us the race right now with my topic.
okay, so in that case,
Um,
Iverson, do you want to go first?
Let's do it.
Okay.
So yeah, here's a pretty funny story. Happened about a year and a half ago, maybe close to 2 years ago. It was during the summer, and we went out. It was actually on the 4th of July that night or the night before. Went out with a few friends, and we're in line in one of the clubs. Just going out with some friends, and we're in line. And I look up and I see this guy, and the way it's set up in Gainesville, it's where I'm at. There was a staircase to a bar, and then we were in line to a bar that's downstairs. So we were in line, and I see some of so a big guy, a really big guy, and there's this short, maybe 5'7" guy. I'll just say his race. He was white guy, and he was screaming at the big guy. The guy, it was a big black guy, 6'7", probably close to 400 pounds. He was screaming at the black guy, saying all these racial slurs, and we're there, we're hearing it, we're in line, right? And
TikTok, bound to go off pretty soon, man.
it's about to go off. So then he's going off, and the guy hears him, and he gets in his face, the big guy. He's like, "Oh, what are you saying to me?" They're arguing. He doesn't touch him, and his boys were there too, and they pull him back, right? The bouncer says, "Hey, stop, kid. Like, this guy, we're not going to stop him if he tries to fight you." But the kid keeps going. And the big guy, the big black dude, gets in his face. And he's like, "Yo, what did you say?" 6'7" black guy. 5'7" white guy. What'd you say? He punches him in the face 8 times, back to
Oh
back,
my
right,
god.
left,
Yeah.
Bow, 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 bow.
right, left. Nobody stopped him. Okay, this is a big 6'7" dude. And here's the
Which
craziest
I'm gonna
part.
stop.
The guy had a white
I don't think
t-shirt.
anybody's going to stop him.
Hey, the guy had a white t-shirt. And there was blood all over. And we're in line. This is where it gets crazy. And I literally look to my left, and there's another guy who's like 5'11", a black guy. And there's some other guy across from him who's Hispanic, right? We're in line. There's a rope protecting us, whatever. And I look to my left, and I see they look like they're about to have like a rodeo showdown. You know, like when they pull out the gun, like in like one of those westerns. It looked like that. They're standing like about
Right,
7,
about
8
to pull
feet from
some
each
Red
other.
Dead Redemption shit out.
Yeah,
Here.
some Red Dead Redemption,
Pop,
right?
pop, pop.
So then this dude is like, the black guy's like, yo, what did you say? We didn't even notice this was going on until I looked. And what'd you say? He punches the guy in the face, and the guy gets glass, bro. He falls. The guy literally falls. He falls right on top of me. Okay? Some short little Hispanic guy. I catch him, and I just throw him on the floor. I'm like, you know what? I'm not dealing with this.
I'm not
Everybody runs. Everybody starts running away. And guess this. We were in line for 30 minutes. The line didn't move. Best part about it, everybody starts running away. We walk right into the bar. No wait. We got a free drink. It was a great night. So
Hey,
that was
lit.
my
That's
story
lit.
of an
That's
insane bar.
beautiful.
That's
Yeah.
lit.
Yeah.
That's lit.
That's amazing.
That's
It was great.
Yeah.
Not for the kid, but it was great. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty good. Not for the guy, but you know, at the end, that's what you get for talking so much crap.
Oh, that's what you get. Yep.
Hey,
Yeah.
Talk smack, get smacked.
So
With,
I'll go second.
Okay. Go ahead.
So I'm always on Tinder, or as I like to call it, Amazon.
That's more
Amazon
like
Prime,
eBay,
guys.
bro. That's
Amazon Prime, guys. Amazon
Just
Prime.
shopping. Hey, I'm just window shopping right now.
I'm just window shopping at
he's
this
on.
point.
No, he's on the fuck book. Come on now.
Oh. Hey.
guys, let's keep it civil, okay? Women need love.
Always in one.
Dude.
They need some brown chocolate. I'm just saying.
Hey,
So,
we all.
And some dark chocolate too.
obviously, dude. I mean, of course. Women need chocolate. So moving
Yeah,
forward.
we don't discriminate here.
So yeah, we don't discriminate.
It was
so,
just Valentine's Day, honestly.
Yeah, exactly. So I was on Tinder and I see this girl, just like everything's about her screams hillbilly. Like there's nothing. Like she literally has one picture of herself with a gun in her hand. I don't know. It was a shotgun. It was a shotgun. I think it was a Bernelli. I'm not sure.
Oh, we in that deep south we're talking about, huh?
Oh yeah. She hardcore. Like I mean, as we progress, as I progress with this story, I'm gonna give you all even more details. So just wait for it. So
every time
she's
you look at a picture, it's just you hear a banjo sound, right?
yeah, it's that, and I just hear a yeehaw, yeehaw. So yeah, so it's like she's got the cowboy hat, or cowgirl hat. And she's she's riding a horse. She's got it all. She's fit too. So I was like, hey, let's see what's the worst that's gonna happen. And I swipe right, and it's a match. And I'm like, yeah, I'm ecstatic. So we start talking. She's like, oh, where are you from? She starts asking me all these personal questions, and I'm like, hey, listen, why don't we? So I'm just trying to take control of this situation. And I'm like, hey, so do you want to meet up? Do you want to, go on a date and have some fun? And she's like, yeah, sure. And I was like, okay, so do you want to go dancing? Cause I love dancing. Like
Same.
salsa. I do the salsa, I dance the salsa, a little bit of the bachata, definitely some hip hop. So, I love to dance. And you guys have seen me dance. So, I go off when I'm like, okay, I'm ready.
Bruno Mars-esque.
But yeah, definitely Bruno Mars, and I try to bring in some Magic Mike too, because
Oh,
why not? Because
Magic
why not?
Mo. Magic
Magic
Mo.
Mo, exactly,
On
Magic
it,
Magic
Mo.
Mo. Yeah,
get it. I want it.
yeah. Thanks, Brad, for ruining that perfect render. But
Shadow.
so yeah, so uh, so we go dancing. So we meet, and the first thing we do, we start close dancing. We're hitting it right. She's close to me, we're close, we're feeling each other's breaths on each other, and it's kind of hot. And then she's like, I can tell that she's kind of into it, and she's like, hey, so listen, I need to like take a couple of steps back because I have a good feeling about this. I'm like, yeah, sure. And so we take a step back, and then we're just like getting drinks, and we're we're at the bar, and she's like, she has her hand on my thigh, I have my hand on her thigh, and so she's asking me all these in-depth like person questions about myself, and I'm like, I'm just like answering her back. And then one of her questions was like, oh, so you from India? So, oh, also I forgot to mention she was from Alabama. So and she said this. The first thing she says, "Hi, I'm from Alabama. I'm a hillbilly," and I'm
Very
okay with
direct.
that.
I like that.
And here's the thing: warning bells should have been ringing in my head at that moment. But hey, sometimes the thirst is real, and you need to quench that thirst. If you guys know what I mean.
Oh yeah.
And
I need
That's
some
it's
fair.
Gatorade
just
too.
Everything's different
I
with five gum.
so
Hey, we all need some Gatorade here and there.
yeah,
No.
exactly. We need some of that swamp meat, and I was all
Okay.
about that.
Oh, it
I was
doesn't
all
taste like
about that.
swamp meat.
In
Yeah, anyways,
Alabama.
so keep going, Amog. Yeah, in
Yeah,
Alabama.
finish
Yeah,
up.
it's in Alabama. So I kept we're talking, and then she was like, so she starts asking me all these deep penetrating questions about India, and because she asked me where I'm from, and the first thing I said was, hey, I'm from India.
Interesting.
And she's like, oh, can you teach me something in Hindu. Now I understand it's a common mistake that Hinduism is essentially the religion, and Hindi is the culture. uh, Sorry, Hindi is the language, Hinduism is the culture, so, or the religion at
You
this
can't
point.
even get it right, Mo. You're from India.
Yeah, exactly, I'm from India, and
Nobody's gonna doubt the unquestionable source of our information, an Indian man telling us this.
Yeah. We got a
yeah,
first
it's like, I
person
mean,
source.
we literally invented a book on sex. Like, at this point, I'm like, India's population is like the second largest in the world. I mean, clearly somebody's fucking. So so anyway, so then
I think
I
someone's
just
having sex right now.
yeah,
Yeah,
literally, it's like,
we
dude,
almost
it's
got
it's
a clap
1.6
tonight here.
one 1.6 billion people on this planet, 1.6 billion people on in India, and like 7.7 billion people on this planet. Just saying. So
Yeah, y'all
moving
brown
forward
people are
now,
wild.
yeah, I mean, crazy. So anyways, so moving forward, we're having a good time. She asks me stuff about like India and stuff, and then the first thing she goes, teach me something in Hindu. So I politely correct her. I'm like, hey guys, it's not Hindu, it's Hindi. Hindi is the language, Hindu is the religion. And she goes, oh yeah, sure, teach me something in Hindi. And I was like, namaste. Pretty simple word. You literally hear it in every yoga class before the yoga class starts. It's namaste. It just literally means hello. And she goes, isn't that Japanese? And it kind of like, I backtracked for a minute. I was like, is it? Like, in my own head, I was like, is it? And here's the thing: I do speak multiple languages because that's how I grew up. I grew up in like I grew up speaking like three languages, and then now I've expanded to like multiple, where I speak four, maybe five languages at a time. And back then, I'd been watching a lot of anime, so I knew Japanese, or I knew enough conversational Japanese to get by in Japan. So, and I still do. So I was like, no, if I'm not mistaken, it's moshi moshi. And she goes, oh right, yeah, it's isn't I'm pretty sure I've heard this statement in like China. Isn't it Mandarin? Isn't that Chinese? And I'm like, no, ni hao. Ni hao in Mandarin is hello. She's like, oh, right. No, it's Korean. At
She's
this
just
point,
not
I'm
all over
like,
Asia.
she's literally just mapping each and every fucking country. And I thought she was like, I thought she was just like joking. So I was like, you're joking, right? I'm like, at this point, my patience is wearing thin because I'm like, dude, I don't know where this is going, but you're kind of getting on my nerves now. And I told her, I was like, no. I'm like, and I speak Korean because when I was learning Taekwondo, one part of my black belt training is literally learning the basic commands and the language of the Koreans, so that I can communicate with people from um, within Korea and so on and so forth. So it was really insulting to it's like it's when you're trying to say that, hey, listen, I speak the language, I know what I'm saying. You're just literally just pointing out at random different fucking countries and saying, oh, is this, is this that? And I'm like, all right. And I had this judgmental look on my face. so the so cut to the end of the date. I had a great time making fun of her. um and it's like at the end of the date, I was like, hey, so I definitely had some fun. Would you like to come home and chill for a bit? She's like, I would have gone home with you, but it looked like you were judging me a lot throughout the night. And I was like, honey, it's kind of hard not to. And I just walked home. And guys, I live like the club we were at.
Damn.
It's like it was like 15 minutes away from where I stayed or used to stay back then. It felt like a 3 hour long walk where I contemplated my life and every aspect of my life, including leading up to this date. So just a word of advice for you guys: don't give in to the thirst, guys. It's a trap. It's a fucking
Yeah,
trap. Don't fall for
yeah,
it.
it depends
Call
on
back
the
to
day.
last week's episode.
Call back to last week's
Oh,
episode, guys.
Yeah,
Do not
for
fall
sure.
for that
more
shit.
content to come.
Yeah.
All right,
With
Benny.
that said, I'll go next. So this night was a night where, luckily, most of us were all out together.
Uh-oh.
We have formed a group. And that always kind of went out spring semester. It was the Moog's last semester, and we were just partying hard. So every
Oh yeah.
weekend we had a new story to tell. So we started off the night by going to JJ's, I think, and it's one of the bars, and it's on the upper level of where we live at. It's like 2 floors. We're on the upper level. For some reason, we find JJ's boring. Like, it just smells like vomit and piss, and we're like, yeah,
Unusual.
let's not.
I
Yeah,
think
it just
Yeah,
usually
smelled like
smells.
ass. It just smelled like
yeah,
ass at
yeah,
this
and
The
point.
thing is,
honestly,
though, that's what it usually smells like. I mean, what's the difference?
yeah, that's true. But so like we're kind of like we're not feeling it tonight, especially. So we go to Rowdy's. And we go to Rowdy's, which is right across from JJ's, and we sit there, we're getting settled, we're buying some drinks or whatever, and all of a sudden, this huge like line of people forms, and one of our boys all of a sudden just get kind of like just sucker punched in the gut, like from this random girl, you know,
And mind
and
you,
yeah,
sorry to
mind
interrupt you, Benny, but this guy is like stick thin. So it's like you're literally punching fucking bamboo at this point.
Yeah, exactly. Like you could feel all his ribs with like just a poke, you know. And so like the thing is like
I
he
mean,
looks at like
he like if you put if you put him in an ad with all these emaciated African babies, you would literally want to pay the white guy. You would want to donate money to the white guy, not to the black kid.
Oh
yeah,
Once
my
again,
God.
Make
yeah,
a Wish
it's like
Foundation.
Make a Wish
Our
Foundation,
sponsor.
yeah,
guys.
it's like what's that
Make-A-Wish.
advertisement that like sings "In the Arms of the Angel" for the
Oh,
puppies? Like that's how bad it is. Like it's just like in the arms of, and then you sucker punched a puppy. Like that's how bad it was.
We love you,
But
BB.
like, yeah, exactly. We love you. But the thing is, like, it wasn't
back.
even that extremely crowded for this to happen. And so, of course, our boy, he looks at the girl like, "What the fuck is your problem?" Like, like a normal reaction from getting sucker punched.
Yeah.
And like, it just like she has the audacity to say like quietly to her friend, "Oh my God, I hate it when guys look at me like when I'm just trying to pass through, you know?"
Here's the
And
climax.
like, and like the thing is, like, I'm like, did this bitch just say that? Like, did she just like
Oh my
say that?
God.
Did I really
Jesus,
just
man.
hear what I thought I heard? And then I was like, you know what? You're not that pretty though. And I yelled that pretty loud so she can hear me. But like I legit thought for whatever reason she didn't hear me. So she keeps walking. Little did I know it was like the strut of shame, all of a sudden. Like she just like struts to the back of the club, like pretending like she didn't hear that. But then
She
I guess
walked
like
10
her
paces, Benny.
her ego was so damaged that she decides to roll back. And so she looks at me right when she comes back and she's like, "Excuse me? Did you just call my friend not pretty?" And I looked at her and I was like, "Actually, no, I didn't call your friend not pretty. I called you not pretty." And she's like, "Oh my god, never again, honey." And like she's like shaking her head like she has like some sort of disease, I'm like, she got the jitters or some shit like
Tourette's,
that.
Tourette's, Tourette's,
She
Tourette's.
got
the
Tourette's or
shakes.
Like
something.
Parkinson's or something.
Like she couldn't believe the attack on her life I just made.
Hey, Benny.
But if there's something
CIP.
about me, if there's something about me that we have to air out, is that I never like to see injustice or people being bigger than what they are. So, she had already struck a chord with me, and the fact that she came back, I was kind of impressed. But with that said, she's not done yet, right? She claps her hands and she says, "Never again, honey."
She turned
And
into a
like,
fucking ghetto chick.
yeah, then all of a sudden, like Amoga's like standing to the right of me, and she's like, "You look so ridiculous," to her friends. But me and Amoga are just trying to stop from like laughing, like we're like,
With,
"Did
with
this really
stifling,
happen tonight?"
with stifling laughter. Like I was drinking. Like okay, guys, another thing. I love gin and tonics, and you guys pretty much know that I love a good gin and tonic. Is just like blows my mind. And the first time ever I wasted good gin and tonic because I almost spat that drink out on this girl's face. Because when I heard
Yeah.
Benny go off on her and her roll back, I looked at Benny. I remember looking at Benny and telling Benny, "Bruh, I think we're gonna get slapped." And all Benny does is look at me and he just seriously looks at me and he just goes, "Come at me, bitch." And I was like, okay, hey, like if shit's about to go down, I might as well just like start stretching up and like do some warm up exercises and like
Hey,
I guess
I
man.
we're gonna
mean,
fight. We're gonna fight some
to
people.
be yeah, to be fair, I was 10 shots down, and whenever a night ends with me having a rum and coke, like it's already gonna be a lit night. Like I only saved that for very special occasions. See, like a
Mhm.
night where everything was going the way it should. And then when I see that, I'm like, I'm not gonna let my boy get pounced on like that. That was like almost an attack on his life. Like like think about it. That one punch could have ended the night for him. That's
Yeah,
how
that
skinny
bitch.
he is,
That
honestly.
bitch turned into fucking Saitama at that point. Like,
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And so like, she's like having almost a nervous breakdown, like, "Oh my god, he doesn't think I'm so pretty. Oh my god," like you could see in her eyes like the pain she was going through. And that night was an important night for all of us because it cemented the name of our group from there on. And we called ourselves from that day forth Thought Patrol.
Thought Patrol.
And like I had the reputation afterwards of being a thought slayer. And so everybody tells me I put that girl on suicide watch. But you know what? Sometimes life comes at you fast. Sometimes life comes at you fast. And I'm happy always to put people in their place when they think they're better than somebody else. And that's
Yep.
really my insane bar story.
All right.
Bradley Williams.
Bradley
So,
Williams.
hey, don't put my government name out there, guys. Chill. But
Hey,
no.
I was
FBI,
Irish too.
We can edit this. It's
No
all
come
right.
kill us.
You're good.
All right, man. But my bar story takes place all the way in Berlin, Germany. So this was back when I was doing a summer abroad program there, and one thing you should know about Berlin, Germany is Germany just in general is that it is legal to drink on the streets. So you can literally walk around with an open bottle of vodka or whatever drink you want and just walk down the street and just take a swig whenever you feel like it. The cops will never arrest you. Nobody will arrest you. So as you can tell,
So
I
basically,
get pretty drunk back.
it's New Orleans during Mardi Gras.
It's New Orleans, it's Las Vegas. It's really amazing. It's fun. But one thing, so let's start. So the story starts off me in Germany, and me and my group of friends, what I go with, and we hear this club called Club Soda. If you ever go to Berlin, Germany, definitely go to that club. It's amazing. There's 5 different rooms playing 5 different styles of music. So rap, techno, like hip, like 2000s, like pop music. Everything is an amazing club. So we get drunk at our bar at our hostel, and we bring a couple roadies with us on this trip. And it was like a pilgrimage to see the baby Jesus Christ, honestly, because we had to hop on planes, trains, and automobiles to get to this bar, to get to this club, man. We hop on a train, and the thing is, since we still want to keep our buzz still going, and the train has so many stops, every time we would stop, we would take a swig of our bottle of vodka. We would just pass it around, take a swig every stop.
Jesus.
I think we had about like 10 stops. Once we get out of that, we
Oh,
walked
boy.
some more, hopped on like another train. We ran out of alcohol, by the way, on the way there. And then we hopped on another train, and then we stopped at a convenience store, got more alcohol, and then we went
Oh.
to the club, right? And the club was amazing. As soon as I get in there, again, it's my first time, I think, going to a legit German like Berlin club. I walk in, I start hearing, yeah! They start playing Usher in there. I'm like, these Germans know how to party. Hold on for a second.
Why am I back in 2005?
Playboy, I know these Germans get down like this. And so, like, we go over, we start going to different rooms and everything, and we found like a nice little room. But they're playing Journey and rock music in one room, and next room they're playing like hip hop and pop music, and we're just chilling there, right? And so we come with a group of girls of ours, again from UF, and as we're just partying, this one guy I don't even know starts dancing with this one girl, and I'm thinking it's cool, you know. I'm doing my thing, I'm dancing, having a good time and everything. But then then the girl kind of pulls away from this guy, and the girl comes up to me and say, "Hey, Brad, I'm not really interested in this guy right now. Could you tell him this to say like, hey, I'm not interested. Can you tell him to back off a little bit?" And I said, sure, I can. So I pull the guy aside and say, hey, listen, man, you know that girl, she's not into you. She's really not. And Benny, you should really like bleep this. But this guy looked in my face, no lie. Trust me, you'll know when to bleep it. And he just told me, he said, listen, bro, I want to fuck her so bad. I'm like, what? Oh, excuse me?
Jesus.
Like,
Jesus.
he said, I just want to fuck her, bro. I don't know what else to tell you. I'm just like, man, I don't know whether or not I can help you with that. But she ain't feeling that thing. And then he said,
He's on a little bit of Molly.
and he said, man, hey, listen, man, you my brother, man, you my brother. And all of a sudden, man, the story gets even more crazy, man. He pulls out some drink out of his back pocket, right? And he says, here, man, drink this. And I'm just like, nah, I don't know, man. It's in a bottle that you stole, like you brought into the club. Is it? No, man, here, drink some. Drink some. I was like, okay. I drink it. And my friend runs over and said, Brad, why did you drink that shit? It could have been roofies, man. I'm like, oh, fuck, it could have been.
Fuck, man.
I think I got drunk.
Jesus.
So I literally took a bullet from my friend right there. I was like, you know what? I drank all of it, so you ain't drinking nobody else then. And so my friend was like, okay, Brad, let me know if you're okay or not. And mind you, these clubs stay open late. We got there at midnight. We didn't leave till like 4:30 in the morning. And I was just so freaking tired. My body was just shutting down on me. Because I think that the stuff he gave me was really affecting me because things started spinning. And then later that night when I was dancing, I was dancing with these 2 girls at the club. And all of a sudden, this black guy comes in and he says, "Oh, hey!" And he starts dancing with me. And every time I try to get closer with these 2 girls, he would kind of cut in between me and him, between them. Now I'm not sure if he knew them or he was trying to get with me that night, because it's like I was getting hit on by a lot of dudes, and it was
Probably the latter. Probably the
yeah,
latter.
Yeah,
Berlin is a
Germany is
hotspot
pretty
for, like,
open.
yeah, it is.
and Berlin is a big city and plus capital, so hotspot for a lot of gays, a lot of gays.
Yeah. And I was like, yeah, man, that's cool and all. And I'll kind of like scoot away from him, try to get next to the girls. All of a sudden, he'll be like, "Shoot, where you going, man? I'm trying to dance with you." I'm like, nah. And then
Nah.
I just walked away and said, "Listen, man, you have a
Dang.
good night."
He wanted a brother from the projects. That's
Yeah,
what
he
that's
wanted some of that Brad over there.
And I told him, listen, man, you seem like a good person. Bye.
Ghost.
Wow.
Ghost.
That was
how to
like,
let him down softly.
like you hit him with the "you're a good person" headshot. Like it is just like bang. That's it. Like there's no
God,
resurrection from this.
that's not what I was going for. And every time I would try try to talk to these ladies, like, first of all, I'm in a different country. I don't know a lick of German, and there's loud music going on, and I had another guy who was trying to like mess with me. So I had three things going against me that night, and I was just like, you know what? And I think it was drugs that night too. So I had four things going against me. So I didn't need this guy to mess with me. Because oh no, he could have took me home. I couldn't stop him. He literally could have just
It was
waited.
about to be. It was
He,
about to be the Medea
This
version of Taken out there.
he could have just waited. So I went to the bathroom, and all of a sudden I was slumped over, and he was like, "Ooh, I got my prize for tonight." I'm like, "Oh no."
this kind of reminds me of another incident I had in Gainesville. So back then I used to love smoking hookah, and it was a night where I got drunk with one of my friends, and dude, we got like crazy drunk, and this girl so the girl ends up going home, and we're smoking hookah, and suddenly this guy comes up to me and he goes, hey, I think vaping was a big deal back then, like e-cigarettes and all that stuff. It was just like it hit the scene with the jewel had just hit the scene, and like he gives me his jewel, and I give him, like, I was like, hey, you smoke some of my hookah. And suddenly he leans in and he has his hand on my thigh, and I'm like, damn, is he pulling the moves on me? And suddenly he whispers in my ear, and in the most seductive fucking voice, and he's like, can I suck your cock? And I'm like,
Who?
the guy. Okay, so like he came up to me and he asked me whether he could, sit with me, join me, and I was like, yeah, sure, man, just join me, cool. Like it's I'm not gonna be that asshole that, if some random guy comes and hangs with me, I'm just gonna be like, yeah, no, fuck off. He sits next to me, and he offers me his jewel, and I offer him my hookah. I'm like, yo, go ahead, man, just knock yourself out. And we're smoking, we're all kind of buzzed, we're kind of faded. It's a good time, we're having a good time. There's Osuna playing, um great artist, by the way, give him a listen. um you know his music is like, it's very trippy, and suddenly this guy just puts his hand on my thigh. He's like, okay, people, if somebody has their hand on your thigh and they're like making the figure 8 on your thigh, that's a sign, dude, that they want some action. And this guy literally just whispers in my ear, hey, can I suck your cock? And
What did you tell him?
I told him, sure.
what do you think?
Yeah, I told him it's okay, buddy.
So,
I'm so generous.
no, obviously not. Like I was like, no, I did exactly what you did, Brad. I hit him with the look. You look like a good person, but I'm gonna head out now. Good night. So it's like, I think we are brothers after all. Like I just hit him with the "you're a good person" headshot, and I got the fuck out. So
And I guess with that note,
Yeah.
This is actually this is a funny story. Just take a minute. Yeah, that kind of actually happened to me this week. I was at work. I actually kind of told the boys a little bit about it, and was there. And then one of my coworkers, she came up to me. She's like, "Oh, you wouldn't believe it," and I'm like, "Believe what?" And she's like, "Oh, he has a crush on you." I just laughed and just looked at my computer. I did not respond. I'm just like, you know what? I'm at work. I don't like dudes. I'm just going to keep doing what I do. And that was pretty much it. I didn't take it the way you guys did it. I probably should have, but whatever. I was in a professional environment.
Hey.
I mean, if you're not in a club and somebody's putting their hand on your thigh and like gently massaging it,
If
I
that's the case,
think
I'll ghost them. I mean, you just ghost them at that point.
yeah, you
I
just
mean,
literally
you
have
do
to
that
end it with the
moment.
headshot.
You just disappear. You just disappear into the night.
You just disappear. Oh, oh, nah, we gotta say that for another episode.
We gotta save another episode.
We
Yeah,
got to save it for
yeah,
another episode.
yeah.
Guys,
With
yeah.
that
Yeah.
said,
Yeah.
we're gonna ghost out of here. This has been the Any Thoughts podcast,
Beautiful, man.
and
Beautiful.
yeah, hit us up with your questions, your concerns. We can do a Q&A next episode if you send in some reader mail. Once again, it's thoughtgang65@gmail.com. Link will be in the description of the YouTube, as well as the SoundCloud link if you wish to have an audio version of the podcast. With that said, wishing you guys a good night. This has been the Any Thoughts podcast.
Oh, hold on for a second. It's Thoughts Gang 65. I messed up in the first part. It is THOTGANG 65, not 25. 65, not 25, @gmail.com.
And we can also put it in our YouTube description too, and
Yeah.
it should be there.
Yeah, so we'll have that updated for you as we upload this episode. But with that said, good night, guys.
Good night.
Peace.
Good night.